Hey, this is Field 1 Paintball. I don't.
That's good, yeah. Scoot over. That's kind of funny, actually.
Field 1. This is Alex Fraige. You probably know him. So this is actually Field 1. So Field 1 Paintball. If you're unfamiliar, Field 1 used to be Bob Long. They made Intimidators forever. The G6R, their Onslaught's the newest gun I think they made. But what I want to know, I think that most people want to know, I guess, why you guys, parts of Dynasty, so Alex, Yosh Rau, Eric Crandall's over there, and I think Ryan Greenspan, those are the four of you are involved. Is there anyone else? Am I missing?
Oliver's involved too.
Oliver. So they're, Ryan and Oliver are kind of like silent partners-ish, sort of, we'll say. They're not as hands-on.
Yeah, no, at this point they're not as hands-on in the manufacturing process, but you know, Ryan does have a big part to play in development. So you know, he's out there testing the products, he's out there talking to field owners and other players, and as well as Marcelo, really kind of, you know, getting their finger on the pulse of the paintball world.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, we're here. We have a long relationship with paintball. Yeah. Been playing for almost 20 years. Founded the team in 2001, and so we've seen the sport, you know, go up and down and move and change. And Bob has been kind of a fixture in paintball for a long time, and a good friend of ours and a mentor of ours. So he was kind of on his way out of the paintball business, and you know, we kind of had a really organic type of meeting with him, and he said, you know, why don't you guys kind of carry on my legacy? And we made a deal with him, and basically we're doing our best to, you know, resurrect and rebuild his brand. Just like any company, it has mountains and valleys, and you know, at one point everyone did have an Intimidator. Yeah. But then now everyone has a Eclipse gun.
Pretty much. It's
so
true.
You know, at one point everyone had an Angel.
Yeah. Everyone.
So you know, we're doing our best to create a quality product that we can stand behind. Yeah. And you know, with our new project right now, we're rigorously testing it, and the force. Yep. So
rigorously, yeah, because you guys have been using it for the whole season, pretty much. Yeah. Maybe like the first event there wasn't a gun or something like that, but definitely the last event last weekend, and then definitely the events previous.
Yeah.
Or something.
So we've been using them in Dallas the whole tournament, and in Philly this last weekend, and everyone on the team has been using them in practice and in the tournaments, and we're really trying to work all the bugs out and be ready for anything that might you know, rear its head as far as manufacturing or design flaws and all that stuff. So we're trying to work all that stuff out now before we release it, and that's something I feel like we have the opportunity to do because we have the team. Yeah. And we can use the team to test our guns to the highest standard.
Yeah, because you guys beat them up. Yeah. I mean, used every weekend. They're going in airplanes. They're at different elevations, temperatures, humidity every single weekend. So it is cool to get that diverse range of climates, we'll say, or something like that.
And you know, we're in a way putting ourselves out there too, because we're, you know, even though the gun is wrapped in tape, it's still guys using it. So
people will
you know,
see that failure.
Yeah, people will see the failure. So you know, we're taking that risk, and I feel like that's worth it to give the consumer the best possible product that we can make. So yeah, we're looking to hopefully go into production soon, and it all happens right here. In our modest little shop, and you know, we're made in the USA, and you know, Yosh and I are putting the screws in with our own hands, and you know, that's the cool story.
That's what I always, at least the more recent Bob Long guns, I feel 2010-ish is sort of when that quality like tripled. It got considerably better. So is the same manufacturer used and the designer? I'm always curious about like who's actually engineering these guns. So is the same manufacturer and same, like, I don't know, mechanical engineer or whoever involved?
So yeah, we have several engineers that we work with, but yeah, the Force was designed by the same guy who designed a lot of Bob's stuff. Yeah. So he's very experienced in paintball, and you know, basically we sat down with him and said, okay, these are the features that we want. Here's some ideas that we have. And it was more or less a collaboration in the design process, which when you're doing something like that, it tends to take longer, but you know, everyone contributing you're gonna get the best possible result. And that's kind of the same thing with the team. And we go to a tournament. It's not one guy saying, okay, here's the game plan. It's 10 guys saying, oh, what about this? What about that? What about this? And then there's an argument, and then hopefully at the end of all of that, you get a winning combination.
Yeah, I've always really liked it. I thought like the G6R or whatever. All those guns were built well. My problem, not with the G6R, I think, but like the Onslaught and like the Victory and whatever, is that they felt overly complicated. So I think that's my main concern with like any new Field 1 products or Bob Long products, whatever, is that they're still overly complicated. Maybe they work really well, but the reliability is not there. So like, I mean, that's what I want to see. I want guns that are more reliable. So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that,
I just worry it's not going to be reliable.
I mean, each of those guns have their own story, right?
G6R is like bulletproof, but like, yeah, I feel like all the other guns are like, eh.
I mean, every gun has their own thing, right?
For sure.
Reliability is one of the top items on our list, right? So performance obviously is,
it's important.
Is sort of feel and performance, and we have some new features that haven't been really offered yet in a high-end paintball marker. And I feel like reliability is something that is important to us because we need reliability playing at the pro level.
For sure. It's got to shoot.
Complicated design-wise. That whole thing is kind of up to interpretation.
Yeah, maybe complicated is the wrong word. Just maybe not even. Maybe it's not good or bad. Maybe it was just a unique design that I wasn't used to or something. So I thought it was weird. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like
those guns each have their own kind of story. I mean, the Onslaught, in my opinion, kind of was rushed to the market, and I feel like the problems with it were exposed once they had sold a bunch of them already.
Yeah, for sure.
And that obviously isn't the best way to market and release a product.
That's why you guys are using them so much.
One of the main reasons we're doing that now. G6R, the design was based on the Intimidator, had already been proven. Those guns work great. They are a little complicated because the two body design and stuff, but that's okay. I mean, everything kind of has its own pros and cons based on what it is. So I mean, basically we're making our first product the best we know how to do it, and we're testing it, and hopefully it's something that people will enjoy.
And that's, I think, crazy too, is that people have to realize that, like, I think that it's a massive undertaking for essentially all new people to an industry. Like, none of you guys are from a manufacturing background. It's not like you've worked in like a steel mill forever. So going into something like this, that's crazy, and that's a big undertaking. So it's taken longer, I think, than people expected, but it's hard, man. Like, there's all kinds of like plastic molds you gotta get made and like little teeny micro adjustments to things, and that's difficult when it's your very first project. So I think that's cool, and that's why I say it's difficult to make masks all the time, and all these things are hard to make because it's such a long process.
Yeah, and there's definitely a learning curve to that, and we are, unlike pretty much every other company, we are making our stuff here in the U.S.
I mean,
sure. we have
nobody.
Our CNC machines running up in Oregon right now, milling parts for us, and we're doing our best to kind of keep Bob's legacy as far as that goes going. And I feel like although it's more expensive for us to produce it, I feel like we kind of are taking that on as something that's our identity. So
it's a good feeling too, because you're doing something it's just cooler, man. Like I have stuff manufactured in China right now. And like I'd rather have it made here. Like it's just kind of neat. Like just kind of feels like I'm, I don't know, helping or doing something cooler rather
it
than
does
just
feel like
feeding a weird economy.
And we're assembling it here too. Like we're not getting a product delivered. I mean, even if the parts were made in China, we get them here, we put them together, and we make sure that they work. A pro guy is doing it, and we're making sure that we're sending out a product that when you open it up is going to be shooting 285 to 290 consistently, and not exploding in your hands.
One of the things I thought was cool about Bob Long did back in the day, they put those cards in the box, and it'd tell you what the pressures were and like what the gun rate are at. That was really cool.
We got those too.
I like that. I think that's such a cool little thing. I don't think anyone else has done that. I don't know if it it matters. Like, it's cool to know the gun was tested, but I don't really care what you set the velocity at.
And it
I
means,
mean, I don't know.
Yeah, to certain people it means something.
Yeah, for
to certain
sure.
people it doesn't.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we, feel like that's necessary, especially when you're paying, top dollar for,
Of course,
for a paintball gun.
it's good to get that nice little touch.
Yeah.
So, you said pro paintball players putting together. Is it you and Yosh mainly?
Yeah. Right now we're building, pretty much 100%. We're
Cool.
We're servicing all the old Bob Long stuff that comes in that needs repair, and I feel like just from fixing so many guns, I've really kind of gained a better understanding of how they work and what to look for, and that's kind of generally, once you learn it, you can then learn how the other guns work, the ones that we don't make, and figure out what's good, what's bad, what you like, what you don't like, and that all comes into developing the next product.
So the Force is coming out. I think we also saw an MVP 2, maybe, I think the same time when the Force was debuted at Paintball Extravaganza. What was that? 2-3 years ago, I think. This coming February would be 3 years, so 2.5 years. What do you guys have any other guns planned? I know that's a hard thing because technically nothing's even been released. It's sort of hard to start planning in the future, but I don't know. Is there more planned? Is the MVP 2 planned? Because we kind of already know a little bit.
The MVP 2 is kind of on the back burner, even though it's all been designed. It just, our 100% of our thrust right now is getting the Force in people's hands. So that's what we're doing. When we started the project back in 1986, we thought it would be quick.
Seriously, it's been that long.
Quicker to do it, but it's not one of those things. It's one of the things that has a lot of moving parts, a lot of different levels to making sure that it's right. It's not it's not a slingshot. It's something that requires a lot of attention and careful planning and producing. So we're making sure that that's right. We do have some other projects behind that, but that's our main thing right now. And we're at the point where we're testing it, which is really good, and we're testing it on a large scale. Like we have like 20 guns that we're using. And
is there a time frame then? Like if there's it's being tested, then we'd think that testing is leading towards sales.
Yeah. So I can't give you an exact release date, but I'd say a safe bet is World Cup. We're gonna be selling them out there, and because right now,
the end of the year, ideally.
Obviously, if you watch the tournaments, they're performing well
for sure.
So there's just a couple small things we want to do, and then we'll go into production and start putting in screws and get them in your guys' hands, and then you can enjoy them yourself. So and they have some cool features that.
Well, there you go. I was gonna ask, what are you said that the Force has or is going to have some unique features that other high-end guns don't have, and I know that there's some stuff you guys don't want to talk about, but what?
Yeah, so I feel like at the top level, a lot of the guns are very comparable.
Yeah.
They just, it's based on the user's perception and also the feel of what they're using. So, if a dye gun feels a little different than a Lux and you like that, then the dye gun's the one for you.
Sure.
Or if the Eclipse is, a little bit more reliable than the Lux and you like that idea, then I don't know if that's really true, but it's the perception of the product, and that's what you like. Or if Impact shoots Eclipse, you like Impact, then buy an Impact gun. But our gun's gonna have a few things that kind of go beyond. I feel like they go beyond that, just the factor of feel, and that's we have a foregrip that's going to be complete. That's going to be movable, so you'll have two different positions. I feel like most pro guys will prefer the extended position, but I was playing with it the other day on the tighter position. I feel like if a little kid buys one of these, then it's much more comfortable. Also, we're going to have the option of using AA batteries or rechargeable batteries, which is kind of a cool feature to where, you bought an Eclipse because you like AA's, but then you bought a Lux because you like the rechargeable. You could do either on ours. And
the batteries, there's going to be AA's in the foregrip, and then there's going to be a rechargeable battery in the frame.
That's right.
And I guess the rechargeable battery is going to be, I don't know, lithium pack, so it'll be like, I don't know, like the Lux battery, or like
similar to that. It's not.
I can't think of I'm trying to think of another battery that's like that. That's in a common electronic. I can't think.
It's like an RC car battery.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
There you go.
And
there's been paintball guns that have used rechargeable batteries. It's along those lines. So it's compact. You know, you can have, you know, it's going to come with 2 batteries, so you can have one charged and then you can switch them out, or if they're both dead, you could just switch to AA's.
It's swappable.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because that's what I hated about Angels back in the day. Is like, shit, get to the paintball field and your gun's not charged.
Yeah.
Those things took like 4 hours to charge, but it's cool to be able to have that option, because I don't like to be wasteful. Like, I don't. So I like that ability of not having to waste actual batteries and be able to charge stuff. So I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, and we want to kind of bring that customizable factor back into the marketplace, and I feel like, you know, that also brings in an element of individuality. Like, you can have a foregrip that looks different than all the other foregrips out there.
Do you guys have plans to release like customized things, like maybe like color kits or different bodies, or make your own foregrips?
Yeah, as we get down the road,
we
get down the road, we'll start doing more stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the first thing is, you know, get a product out there.
Yeah.
Make sure it's working. Even, you know, even though we're testing, you know, rigorously right now, there could be other stuff that, you know, people don't like, or there's a flaw. So we're gonna, you know, kind of slowly get our feet wet in the marketplace by releasing, you know, not whole tons of guns all at once. We'll get there. So yeah, there's one right here. You can get
he keeps looking down at it.
Quick glance at it. Here it is. It's
like,
covered in tape right now, so the body style is concealed. But the you know, they'll come with our AccuLock barrels, which are super crispy, and I mean, they point really well. The guys have been using them. You know, it's got the feel of a paintball gun, which is what we were going for.
That's right. That's seriously
So
right.
yeah, and you know, my opinion is you know, it's the operator, not the not the equipment. I mean, at the high end, you know, it really is down to it's up to personal preference. So I'm not gonna say, okay,
it's the best.
Ours is the best for sure. It has some features that make it really nice. I mean, the way the engine works, it's gonna require very little maintenance. We're using a U-cups instead of O-rings for our dynamic seals. So there's, you know, I mean, these guns have been played with probably 80 to 100,000 shots each without changing any O-ring or engine O-rings. Yeah, so our thrust behind that was, like you said, reliability.
Sure.
So we feel that for these dynamic seals in our engine, having a U-cups in those spots will increase reliability. They last longer, they require less maintenance, and there's less resistance when being used. So those things in themselves, you know, point to more reliable. However, you know, they are a pain in the butt to change. So you're sacrificing serviceability, right? So it may be harder to tech if there is a problem, but there's less likely to be a problem.
For sure.
So there's a balance there.
Yeah, that's weird to me. I'm just so used to that, like, just slap an O-ring on there and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So like, I guess that extra step of thinking is something I don't like, which is stupid.
And it also is something, I think, more precise from a performance standpoint.
Yes.
Like, if you're opening up the engine of a Ferrari, you're not going to find the same parts inside of a Honda.
Yeah.
Right? They're different seals that are better.
Yeah.
So that's the way we feel about
Those
U-cups.
cup O-rings are better than just regular.
I mean, they're more
rounds.
expensive, which obviously makes them better, right? Isn't that how it works?
No, normally.
Yeah.
You just make it on a dime. One of the things that Bob Long was like adamant about was not sponsoring teams, which I kind of understand, right? I don't know if there's a huge return in some of these smaller manufacturers sponsoring, you know, some of these big teams where they're giving away like tons of guns every year, and maybe not seeing, I don't know, a big return on that. Do you guys want to, like, I don't know, I felt like maybe expand more, and I feel like Bob was very, toward the end at least, very kind of closed, and maybe not like, he's getting tired of paintball a little bit, I think. So what do you guys want to do to like maybe expand the brand more, like get maybe involved with more teams, or I don't know.
Yeah,
something.
I mean, we definitely want to grow our company, right?
Yeah, of course.
So that being said, one of the things is getting our product out there in the hands of teams and fields and all that stuff. But our primary objective is, number one, make a quality product, and then number two, work with the field owners and dealers and stores to make sure that, you know, we have a product that they're able to sell at the price point they want, and have a you know, symbiotic relationship with you know, those guys. Like, I know a lot of the companies that heavily sponsor teams, they pay them in guns, right?
Yeah.
So like you have 1,000 Eclipse guns out there on the market that were given to team guys, and then they sell them, and they're undermining the store's price because they can go sell them for cash on the internet, which doesn't necessarily help the stores. So we are going to sponsor teams, but we're going to try to stay away from that part of it.
Yes.
Really, we have a team, Dynasty.
Sure,
so
I know that's
where
sure.
we're going right now. We're gonna sponsor the Dynasty and make sure we have a gun that's able to compete at the highest level. And then once we gain that type of confidence in the marketplace, then we'll go after some other teams and try to make a thing of it. I mean, if you ask me, I could pick all the best teams and want them shooting our guns.
Why not?
So not only that. Do I think it would be good for our company, but I also think that for me personally, I'd like to see that. It's like almost like a badge of honor when you have Fedorov holding your gun, or Malloy, or one of these guys, Alex Goldman, playing with your stuff. It's a feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah, exactly. You made something and they're using it. It's good enough. You did such a good job.
Yeah.
There's other people that want to use your products,
Yeah.
and that's cool for sure. One of the things that I liked about the old Bob Long products, and one of the things I thought that was kind of weird, I originally was like, oh, cool, someone's taken over Bob Long, and I was like, I wonder how much they're going to change the products, and I wonder, what's going to be different. And I really liked the trigger frames on the old guns, like this thing, right?
Yeah.
So this is just like just this goes to this.
Yeah. Yeah, those are actually HK Mark Rippers that we're building up, so you'll probably be able to pick one of those up in a couple weeks. Yeah.
So yeah, this is the same trigger frame that's been used for a long time, and I really like this. But I thought, oh gosh, you're gonna have a scratched one. One of the things that I thought was weird about, the Force is that it's using the old frame. Why decide to stay with the old frame and on off and all that stuff when it's like a new gun and a new company?
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, it is a new trigger frame. The design of it just aesthetically looks similar,
and it might feel the same.
Yeah,
but
it will feel the same. I mean, we went for that kind of traditional 45 handgun type of feel.
Yeah.
And that's something our guys like, and that's something that if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. We're not gonna make it skinnier or fatter or cover it in rubber. We're gonna roll with it how it is, and maybe down the road if the market dictates that we should change it, we will. I mean, we'll change stuff for a practical reason, but I'm not personally into changing it just to change it.
Sure, just to be different.
Yeah,
I get that. Is the regulator a lot different then? And then the board's going to be a lot different then too, since you said it's different on the inside. It has to be.
Yeah.
Right?
So now, as where in the old Bob Long guns, the regulator was inside the foregrip.
Yeah.
Now our regulator is inside the grip frame, so it's much smaller, totally different design. I feel like it's a little bit more reliable. But yeah, it's a completely new thing.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that because I'm like, they're using the same old trigger frame, but it's like, well, not really. I mean, it might look a little different. I think they stopped recording. Did it stop recording?
It didn't stop recording. It's a weird. I think it's
An exclamation point, flashing
it's like
orange.
Yellow, yeah.
Yeah.
A quick wrap up.
I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I feel like I can see her talking to you.
You
for
could
like
do a
4
wrap
hours,
up. You could
so.
you could do a wrap up with me, and then go to say I'm going to talk to Yosh next, or you're going to cut both interviews in.
I don't even know what I'd ask Yosh now, because I'm like,
We'll ask him all the same shit, and then you use what you want.
That is true, actually. And then kind of
Believe me, he's much better than me with this
splice
stuff.
it in between. Well, I don't know, grab it. You're done.